Something you guys don't need in Glasgow.
No, not right now, we don't.
Good afternoon, Marlon.
Sir? So I think, Cody, you can, Cody, let us know when it's live. Shouldn't be too long of a meeting tonight.
Right.
We've already got it on there.
Hey, Mark, when we get to item 4 with the transformers,
Which one?
item 4 with the transformers,
Yes.
when we get there, there's 2 different transformers to approve. I don't know if we want to do it together or individually. I can explain each one, and then we can vote on the 2 of them together, maybe?
I'll turn it over to you at that point.
All right.
You're live.
Okay, we're live, so I think we're ready to roll.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Chair noting the quorum present at the February 22nd, 2022 board meeting of the Glasgow Electric Plant Board is now called to order. First item of business is the approval of the agenda.
I make a motion, we approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Next item is approval of minutes. I guess everyone has seen those sent out electronically.
And you got the minutes in your packet.
Hey, Ron, I have a question for you. DT started that meeting and I finished it, but is it his place to sign those minutes?
That's what Amy said you had told her from last time. That whoever calls the meeting to order is the one that signs the minutes. I think you had told her that on the previous
I
meeting.
don't recall telling her that, but I mean, you were the, of course, you were present, I think, as the chairman. You're the chairman now. I don't know if we could certainly send them to DT if we need to. I think he would, no problem signing and send them off. I don't know if there's any necessary requirement that be happening, but you were the chairman really before the meeting ended, so you both were chairman during that meeting. You finished.
That's right. Well, DT's name was on at the end of the minutes. I just wanted to point that out. I don't know what the correct thing to do there would be.
I think Mark can sign them as the
Yeah,
chair.
I think you were the chairman when they were concluded, so I think it's okay.
Well, she told me that Mark may ask about that and that whoever opened the meeting or called the meeting to order was the one that signed the minutes.
Okay.
So I assumed that you had told her that or somebody
I don't
told her
think
in
I've
the
had that,
past that
yeah.
was what.
Maybe that's something's been discussed in the past. I don't think it's been discussed with me. I'm not sure how we did it when DT took over. You know, I don't know think it really matters. It's just an internal thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, if everybody feels comfortable with DT signing, we'll send it down there. He'll sign it and send it back, I'm sure. Or as far as I'm concerned, Mark, you as the chairman at the time the meeting was concluded, you finished up that meeting, so.
Yeah.
All right. In that case, I'd move to approve the minutes as mailed out.
Motion.
Okay. I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And the next item is the ratify the programming committee's approval of sponsorship offer for Classic Rerun Series.
Yeah, so what this is, and on in the board packet, the programming committee minutes, the last page really describes it all very well. But basically what we're looking to do is start a classic rerun series, which is approximately 30 years of EPB, original programming of sports, graduations, Christmas events, historical events, and other things that the EPB has covered over the years. There's like a pretty significant library of these events. And we're going to call it the Classic Rerun. It's going to be on YouTube, and it's also going to be on Channel 6. We're looking for a sponsor for this series, and the price would be $250 a month to sponsor it. And basically for that, what the sponsor would get is a 30-second video commercial airing at the beginning and ending of each event. Their logo would be featured along with the programming logo. It'd be on the screen at all times, so that their logo would basically just be up in the corner. And then the sponsor name and logo mentioned on the program intro and outgoing, and then the promotional materials that we have for the Classic Rerun series, their name would be mentioned there as well. So the programming committee approved this package, and we're just looking for the board to ratify it. Any questions? So that we can have the questions, I guess, after the motion second.
Motion.
And I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Any other questions?
What channel would this be on?
On Channel 6, which is our local
Which is
programming
local
channel.
programming every day.
Yeah, and I think the vision for it is to run a couple of times a week. It won't be a constant thing. It might be on a Monday evening and a Friday or a Saturday or something like that. Somewhere between 8 and 10 times a month this show would run. So. Anything else? Okay.
No other discussion? All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Agenda item 4, approval of transformer purchases. Dave, I'm going to turn this portion over to you to discuss.
Yep, sounds good. So we have, with the way that prices have gone in a lot of areas, transformers are no different. So we're going to be, with the need to come to the board with anything over 20,000, we're going to probably be doing this fairly often to be asking for approval of these transformer purchases. So this month we have a couple. The first one is another look at the transformer purchase that we approved last month. Last month we approved $21,500 for that transformer, but when we went back to the vendor, the lead time was like 80 weeks or more, and the customer was like, that's just too long, can you find another vendor? So we went and looked for a shorter lead time, and we found a vendor with a shorter lead time, but the price was $28,000 instead of $21,500. So the customer has agreed to pay the difference for the shorter lead time. So the net cost to the EPB is still going to be $21,500, but I wanted to make it transparent for everyone, because we will be cutting a check for $28,000 to the vendor and then being reimbursed by the customer. So that's the first one. It's already a transformer that we had approved last meeting, but the situation has changed a bit. But the net cost to the EPB is still the same at $21,500. And then the other one is a 1.5 MVA transformer, a pad mount transformer. And that one is $26,493. This is a new one that we are just asking for approval on, and it's for a customer that we already serve, but they're expanding, and so we need to put in a new pad mount transformer. So that one again is a 1.5 MVA transformer for $26,493. And so I think the way to do it is just, unless there's any objection, just put those two together and approve these transformer purchases. So.
Is it coming from the same vendor?
No, they're coming from different vendors. Yeah. 2 different purchase orders, 2 different vendors. Yeah.
Dave, I have a question about the first proposal. Is that, it's a shorter lead time, is that just a good faith effort, or is that a contractual obligation on the vendor's part?
That is a good question. I would say it's probably a good faith effort instead of a contractual obligation, but what we've generally find is that when they give us a lead time, they usually meet it or exceed it. You know, it comes sooner, but it's not necessarily contractual.
Well, these aren't normal times, though. I tried to buy a new dishwasher that said it was going to take months, and some vendors would not even give me a date. So, is that a deal breaker if we try to put a date certain in there for delivery?
I'll check with Aaron, and I can let the board know. But I think vendors, when they do give us these dates, they do take them seriously. But I'll have to check with Aaron and see how that generally works out.
Because I can see if they're delayed through no fault of their own, I think the school would be a little bit reluctant to pay the extra money, and as rightfully so. So that's just the nature of my question.
Yeah, okay. I'll check on that and let you know.
Okay. There a motion to accept these proposals?
Motion.
And I'll second that.
All right. Being no further discussion, all in favor?
All right.
Dave, the only thing I would maybe just put the vendor on notice that we expect to hold them to that, and whether it's in the contract or not, and see how that goes.
Okay.
All right, the next item is the superintendent's reports. Dave, you have the floor.
All right. Okay, the first item in the superintendent reports is the March 2022 fuel cost adjustment. March's fuel cost adjustment is going to be 2.018 cents per kilowatt hour. It's up slightly from 1.947 cents in February, but still lower than almost 2.5 cents in January. So the trend is down. However, we continue to see on average a higher monthly fuel cost adjustment than the 3-year average. And this in March is probably, I think it's roughly 23% higher than the 3-year March average. So, the trend is up mainly because of commodity prices, but we're also seeing a shift in the mix of generation resources, and customers are going to end up paying more for power as we shift away from the fossil fuels to the green energy mix because of the capital investment that's required. So we'll see, but I think it's, generally speaking, it's going to be a little bit higher as time goes on than it has been over the last 3 years. So. And then in your packet, there's the outage report. Had 7 outages in January. 3 of those were, again, animals. 1 was a car pole accident. 2 were trees, and 1 on here is listed as equipment. And we don't have any that were related to weather, but I would say that equipment failure was probably weather related. It was on our distribution line that runs along the bypass near McDonald's. The center phase came loose from the center pin conductor or center pin insulator, and it laid against the transmission pole, and it basically caused a direct short. The reason that the wire tie broke was because it was during that extremely cold weather that we had in January, so the conductors get tight, and it just basically broke the wire tie. So it took us a while to find it because it didn't really look like anything was wrong. The conductor just shifted over maybe a foot from where it normally was, and you had to be looking right at it to see that it was actually a problem. So that would, even though it's called an equipment failure, it was definitely weather related. Any questions on the outage report? All right, and then so the Weather Channel contract issue, I don't know how much any of you have heard about this, but a company called Allen Broadcasting bought the Weather Channel, and then when it came time to renew the contract with NCTC, they wanted to package 7 or 8 of their very unknown, very not watched channels with the popular Weather Channel. And the issue is that it creates a space issue on cable systems. And so, plus they had a pretty substantial rate increase included with it. Then they came back with another option of, okay, we won't package those other channels, but we're going to jack your rate up by, I think it was like 400%. And of course that wasn't palatable to anyone. So NCTC, who negotiates these packages for us, they told us you might want to start looking at options. And so we put out a survey to customers, and of course customers really, they like the Weather Channel and weren't real happy with it possibly going away. But during that survey process, Allen Broadcasting came back with a reasonable proposal, which didn't include any extra channels, and a rate increase that was modest and tolerable and not unexpected, even if the Weather Channel wouldn't have changed hands. It was basically just a reasonable rate increase. So we think that so-called crisis is past, but I'll let you know what the result is at the next meeting. Just to give you an update on some conversations we've been having with Warren Rural Electric Co-op. We're talking with them about our Haywood substation and one of our 69 transmission lines that runs to the east that they take service off quite often. We're just talking with them on, is there a way for us to work together to make that Haywood substation and that, we call it line 117, even more stable, probably better utilized just to serve both us and them, and reduce our cost of operation and also allow them to avoid some cost of having to build an additional substation to serve some of their northeastern loads. So it's really a preliminary discussion, but it's good for the board to know that we're talking about these things. Nothing really significant to report right now. We just met on site to look it over and really start the conversation on, is there a way for us to work together with Warren Rural Electric. So, and then the last item that I have to report is that we have a new domain name and a new website, GlasgowEPB.com, and we acquired that. We also have GlasgowEPB.net, correct? In addition to the existing website, which is Glasgow-ky.com. But the new website is going to be GlasgowEPB.com, and we have our new website up and running, and we'll be pointing all of the domain names to that one website eventually. For now, it's going to be somewhat of a transition phase, but it really looks good. It's also coincides with our new logo that we rolled out. So it's kind of a nice branding thing that we're going through that I think has been very positive. So we had lots of good feedback on the new website. Anything else you can think of?
I did, bless you on the transformer, I did text Aaron, and he said that, they said that lead time would be 40 weeks. They couldn't guarantee it, but they were pretty certain that they could meet it.
Okay.
So I asked him if the
Dave?
customer was aware of that, and he hasn't answered that.
I can't hear Melody.
Yeah, so I'll repeat it though. So Melanie texted Aaron just to see what he had to say about the vendor and the lead time on that transformer. And basically what the vendor is saying is that they can't guarantee it, but they're relatively certain that they're going to meet that lead time. So, you know, that's where that's at. I will have Aaron keep us informed of any changes in that. So, because I agree, it's when we're asking the customer to pay for an expedited shipment, and then if it doesn't come through, that's going to create an issue. So, we'll keep our eyes on that.
Why don't we get out in front of that and tell the school just what they just told us?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good. With that, I think we're down to the agenda item 6.
New or old business to come before the board?
I don't have any.
Marlon?
No.
Nope. All right, any word on Libby's replacement or DT's for that matter?
No, nothing firm. I know there's a couple of candidates being considered, but there's nothing firm that I know of. But
Okay.
just in a sidebar conversation I had today, there are a couple of candidates being considered. So
Okay.
hopefully we do get. It'd be nice to at least have a fourth. So
It would be.
yeah. So
Well, at least it sounds like the mayor and the city council know that there is an opening.
yeah, they do. Yep, for sure.
Right.
Yep.
Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn. There's no other business.
Y'all make a motion, we adjourn.
Second?
All right. All in favor?